So in Mesoamerican cosmology and its creation stories, which there are many types, there's one theme that really helps us understand divination and prediction practices among the Aztecs and the Maya. And the story goes that in the beginning, as in many paradisical stories, in the beginning there was a period of time where heaven and earth were close together, where the beings who existed could speak to animals, where divinities and humans were almost on the same plane. Our ancestors and divinities were close, and they all had the same powers of seeing, of observing. But in the Mesoamerican case, what happens is the deities, for some reason, they become jealous that the ancestors who are closer to humans, who have not yet been created, have the same powers that they have. And they decide that they don't like this. And so they create a separation. And the way they create the separation is they cast a spell over the vision, over the eyes of the ancestors, which is described as though a breath on a mirror. And there's still a mirror, but when the ancestors and eventually the humans look into the mirror, they can't see as clearly. They can't see as far into the mirror. They can't see themselves, they can't see the world. And therefore, what happens is that when human beings are created, they inherit this breath over the mirror of their eyes. And they can still see the world that all of us see, but in fact the world is so much more full of life. It's all around that we can't see. And therefore, the divinities can see. They can see inside of trees. They can see inside of our bodies. They can see through mountains. They can see great distances. All things that we cannot do. And so what happens is that certain individuals in the society are born who have a little bit more capacity for vision. And those often become the diviners. They have to undergo training, special training, to take this extra ability to see that moves them a little closer to the ancestors or to the divinities. And they take this training, what we might call shamanistic training, to sharpen this ability. And they're often the ones who can read the signs, who become the diviners. But this idea of the mirror is very important in Mexico, in Mesoamerica, because many of these mirrors were made out of obsidian, this black obsidian stone that was very brittle and very sharp, but it could be shined. You could shine it, and when you looked into it, and I've looked into them, you can see yourself. Now, you can't see yourself as clearly as when we look into our mirrors, but you can see yourself, and sometimes you can see things behind you. And so these mirrors become very important for humans as techniques to improve their own ability to see. By having these mirrors, it clarifies that breath on the eyes.